Hello, welcome to the second episode of my podcast Wool Knit Collect. Welcome back if you have seen it before, and a very warm welcome when you watch it for the very first time. My name is Mariette. I live in Rotterdam. I'm an archivist, a mother, a knitter, a wool lover, and you can find me on Ravelry and on Instagram via the show notes. So this episode is about adventures. I think starting a podcast is really an adventure. It's exciting, it's thrilling. You don't know what you will meet, who you will meet and what you will learn. But I hope I meet many nice people and I learn new things and I have great experiences. Many experiences. So this episode is about adventures. I tell someone something about my first trip to Yarndale 2 years ago. And I tell about my whip, my work in progress and the modifications I make. I tell about the mystery knit-along I joined in last summer. And the title of the mystery knit-along was Adventure Knitting, so that's why I chose this theme for the second episode. I have yarn in the picture, I have favorite new patterns and I will show you some of my favorite vintage patterns this time. So there's a lot I want to tell you and I want to show you, so let's start. I will tell you about my first trip to Yarndale 2 years ago and I can show you my beautiful knitting bag of the first time of Yarndale. First, he has a rosette, I don't know the word, about the first time. This is the sheep of Yarndale, and every year they make a big bag you can buy at Yarndale, and this year I bought the bag of the first year, because when I first was there I did not buy a bag because I thought, who in Holland will ever know about Yarndale? But now I was back there and I wanted to buy the bag also for the memories, all my memories of the first time. My first trip to Yarndale was a real adventure. I read about it 6 weeks before, and it was held at Skipton in the Yorkshire Dales in England, and it's a festival of creativity, a yarn festival, and you can meet many lovely people who also love to knit or crochet. So there was no room left in Skipton itself because I was quite late when I wanted to book my stay. So I wanted to stay in Leeds because Leeds has a train station. You have many trains who are going to Skipton on the Saturday or the Sunday. And everybody who wants to go to Skipton and comes from the south has to change trains in Leeds. So I thought it must be very easy to meet people who are also going. On the days of Yarndale I have visited both days, the Saturday and the Sunday, because it was so overwhelming and there was so much to see and so much to buy and so much to enjoy. And at one of the days I met my great friend Jane on the train, because I hoped I would meet someone on the train. I had every I trusted that I would recognize my fellow knitters on their beautiful knitwear, because we all love to wear our knitwear when we are going to a yarn festival. So I stepped on a train just before it departed and walked through it looking for someone who was alone and who was wearing beautiful knitwear. And so I met Jane. Hi Jane, I hope you will watch this. And she happened to work at Barham. It's one of the vendors at Yarndale, and where I bought 2 years ago the lovely yarn Titus. I will tell more about that on the next episode, maybe, or another episode, because that's a very great yarn. So Jane and I talked a lot on the half an hour of our journey, and we stayed in contact at social media, via social media now, and this year I met her again, which was very great. So, about my work in progress. It's the Raglan pullover, still, by Sarah Hatton from Vogue Knitting magazine, Deep Fall 2015. And I will show you, last episode I made the 2 sleeves. I showed you the 2 sleeves of it, one sleeve and the second sleeve, and now I've knitted a part of the back. It's a very quick knit. I knit it in Davestone DK from Barham, again Barham. This is the yarn. Yeah, Davestone DK. When you want to hear more about it, it's a really, I love the yarn, it's my favorite yarn of the moment. When you want to hear more about it, you can watch my first episode where I tell very much about that yarn. So now I'm knitting the back, and I just begun the raglan shaping for the shoulders. So what's next? It's my finished object. I will show you it in a few seconds. And it was from a mystery knit along that I joined this summer. That was the adventure knit along from Lee Meredith. It was a really great fun. You had so many choices. You could choose your project from 2 different hats, mittens, a flat caul or a rounded caul. And then you could choose your yarn weight, and then you could choose a basic stitch pattern from 5 different stitch patterns. And then you could choose to knit it flat or upright, or at the bias diagonally. And you could choose to add embellishments, and you could choose to make some motif stitches to enliven your project. And Lee Meredith is really a great artist. The goal was, the knit-along was even more fun because she had also made a story about it. Knitting your project was as making a visit to a zoo, an adventurous visit. And you chose a habitat when you chose your basic stitch pattern. And you could walk in the zoo, you could walk flat or you could walk uphill, and then you knitted your project diagonally. And you could meet different animals, and that were the motif stitches. There were real animals, as you can meet in a real zoo, but also mythical animals such as a unicorn. I will show you the project. I made a hat. This is my hat. I chose the colored basic stitch pattern with slip stitches. I think the columns, the stripes are the columns are the trees from the forest, because this was the forest habitat. And the hat is knitted flat. All the projects were knitted flat, and you make the rounding of the hat by short rows. I made my own embellishments because I knitted some stripes in it from different colors. And I added two different animals. This was a Sasquatch. I don't know if I pronounce it on the right way, but it's a mythical animal from Canada, and also named Bigfoot. He likes a primate and is as tall as a man, and this was really an adventure to knit this. It's a big animal. It has difficult twisted slip stitches in here, and also this motif was not difficult, not easy. I had some struggle with the Sasquatch, but at the end I beated him. And the other animals are here. These are sloths, an adult sloth, a mother, and a teen sloth. They're young. And with them I had much less difficulties. Lee Meredith did really an excellent job with this mystery knit-along. Although you have so many possibilities, the pattern is really accessible and easy to read. I really admire this. And she had a reverie group. We discussed our choices and our progression, and you could see what other people did with it. There were so many possibilities, so no one did exactly the same. I really like that. And there were so many creative ideas about this project. Lee was always at hand to answer our questions and to help us and support us. And I'm really looking forward to next summer when she will make her new mystery knit-along. You can still buy the pattern. I can recommend it, especially when you want to learn to experiment more or you want to learn new techniques. Then it's for you. The yarn I used was from a Danish company, Strikkebøgen. I don't know, my Danish is not so good. And it is lama ult, 50% lama and 50% wool. It's a worsted weight, and it's rather soft. And also the yarn has a bit of a halo. I don't know if you can see that. And I think it's very well fit for a hat because it's warm, but also because of the slip stitches. When you make slip stitches, you have a more dense fabric, and so that's warmer, and also it gives more stability to the yarn because llama yarn is just as alpaca. It's quite drapey, and so the stitch patterns gives also more stability to the yarn. I was really very proud when Lee Meredith asked me if she could use my project photo for her pattern page. So thank you, Lee. So today's yarn in the picture. It's this yarn. It is the 4-ply from Wensleydale sheep shop, Wensleydale long wool sheep shop. I will show you the label. This is pure Wensleydale, and Wensleydale is a sheep from Yorkshire, and it has very long curls. I also bought some curls from Yarndale. They are dyed, and they are really silky, and I love to see them. Maybe one day I will make a brooch or something like that from this. Yeah. The yarn is made from 3 strands. It's loosely twisted, and it also has a kind of halo. I made 2 swatches of it. First I knitted this swatch, and I knitted with my favorite needles. Yeah, let me see. Here are they. They are single pointed rosewood needles, and I bought them at Yarndale at the little knitting company, and I love to work with it when I have a little project. I really like this kind of short single pointed needles. And I knitted this swatch with 3.5 millimeter. And you can see the fabric is quite loose. I made some little cabling here. And then I made another swatch. And I made that with my new carbons needles from Knit Pro. And you can see this is a more dense fabric. I made some cables also, but when you see the 2 swatches together, the second is much smaller than the first one. This carbons needles are 3 millimeters, so it's only a little different from the rosewood needles. But the effect on the swatches is really different. I think when you knit with carbons needles, you need a bigger needle than you would need with rosewood or maybe also bamboo needles. Yeah, I bought this yarn 2 years ago at Yarndale. This is the color Moonlight, and it's really, I think it's really beautiful. I also bought some other colors because at first I wanted to make a sweater with a colored yoke. This is the color Marshmallow. This is the color Pomegranate. And this is the color Storm. and I think they are really great together. But I wanted to make a sweater of it, but at first, but later on I made other projects with it. I have already made an infinity cowl for a friend of mine. I can't show you that anymore because she wears it. But I also made another project of it, but it is a work in progress what maybe never will be finished, because it is a project where I want to play with my yarn, and I can show you it are all different kind of stitches. I held the yarn double, the Wensleydale yarn. This is Navia Uno. On another time I will tell more about that yarn. And I used, for the color work, I used slip stitches, and when you have only the moonlight color, there are different patterns. This is a rib. This is kind of lace, but it's not so not you can't see it very well now. This is also with 3 colors, slip stitches with 3 colors, and this is the lace pattern. Now I see, yeah. And this was a kind of cabling. This one I really like, and this one just like little crosses, and also very fun slip stitching pattern and some more cabling. I really like to play with yarn like this. Many people ask, oh, what are you going to make of it? Well, I think nothing. I'm just enjoying the process and seeing what kind of stitches, what the stitches do with the yarn, and the yarn with the stitches. And well, I love making it. So, favorite patterns. Do you remember my cape of last episode, which I designed myself? This week I will show you a pattern from the new Vogue knitting, which were recently added to Ravelry. And one of the patterns I think resembles my cape, which I designed myself. This is a photo of my cape. And now I will show you the pattern in the Vogue knitting. This pattern is called Cropped Poncho in Vogue knitting. It's designed by Joanna Radov. It's knitted in a bulky yarn, but the size and the shape are quite the same as my cape. This cape is knitted in the round. My cape is knitted flat, but the cables are lookalikes. They also are getting narrower when they go up here at the shoulders. I was really excited when I saw this pattern, because Vogue knitting shows what will be hot fashion the coming years. So maybe my pattern I designed myself is really fashionable. So I'm excited about it.
Just like last time, I want to show you something from a magazine with vintage patterns. It's a magazine from 1934. It's a Dutch magazine, Praten en Breien. And I love the cardigan here on the front page. hope you can see it well. I love how the color is buttoned down. And the stripes in texture. This is also a favorite of mine. It's a sweater to wear during skating on the ice. This is the most special from this magazine. It is a stair carpet. You can knit this stair carpet in stripes and afterwards crochet them together and then put it on your stairs and walk over it. I think you must have very much time to make this stair carpet.
So, I hope you enjoyed this episode of my podcast. You can find me on Reverie and on Instagram. I tell everything you want to know in the show notes, and I hope you will give me comments on Reverie or here on YouTube or on my website. Thank you for watching, and till next time, goodbye.